All right, my darling dears, I'm back at you one more time with some math today. I'm just going to show you a slightly different problem here with the same 3 steps. Estimate, solve, multiply. This is the foolproof way to get all your division problems correct. So let's try it one more time with a slightly different problem here. This is 68 divided by 8. I also wrote it in fraction form here, 68 over 8. So let's go ahead and estimate. Think about how you'd like to write this problem in rounded form. All right, when we estimate our dividend, that's probably going to look something like 70. 68 is very close to 70. That would round to the nearest 10. Now round your divisor. Alrighty, I would probably round 8 up to 10, and right away we can say 70 divided by 10. You might also look at this like 70 divided by 10. If you simplified this fraction here, you would divide both the numerator and denominator by 10, and that would leave you with 7 over 1. We know any fraction over 1 is going to equal this numerator right here, 7. We can check that here. 10 is going to go into 70 7 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. All right, so we can estimate our answer here. It's going to be about 7. Very nice. Making space. Maybe I'll get rid of these. Oops. Well, that's good. That's good enough. Okay, stop messing around. Pick a new color. I know I just said I was going to stop messing around. Sorry, guys. Let's do this one. Alrighty, guys, let's solve this before I get too distracted by the color palette again. So write this one out. 68 divided by 8. Alrighty, here, guys, we know that 8 cannot go into 6. It's going to be 0 times. You don't have to put that 0 there, but I like to have it as a placeholder sometimes. Alrighty, so now we've got to say, okay, how many times does 8 go into 68? You're probably thinking about those math facts, your favorite and mine. If you're feeling a little stuck, you can always go to those benchmark ones. We know it can't be anything greater than 10 because 8 times 10 would be 80. You can work back from that. 8 times 5 is going to be 40, so we know it's got to be bigger than that. Check those math facts between 5 and 10. Alrighty, you may remember that 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 8 is 64. Let's do some subtraction here. That's going to leave 4 left over. Well, right away we know that 8 cannot fit into 4. In 4th grade, and a little bit earlier this year, we would probably write this as 8 remainder 4. But now we know that we can use an equivalent decimal to turn this into a more exact answer. So in order to do my equivalent decimal, I need to turn 68 into 68 and 0 tenths. Now we know that 68 is equal to 68 and 0 tenths, so these are really the same numbers, just giving us more to work with. So we're going to drop that 0 down. Now I can say, how many times does 8 go into 40? Think about that one. It's a multiplication fact. I may have mentioned it just a moment ago. All right, before we write it down, here's the big thing. We've got to remember we put a decimal here, so that decimal needs to go in the exact same spot in our answer. It just goes whoop right up there. Now, you probably said 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 equals 40. We've got nothing left over, the big old goose egg. Now you can look at this number. It is 8 and 5 tenths. You might also read that as 8 and a half. Very nice. Let's write that here. That's kind of exciting because 8 and a half is very close to 7. So far our answer is well supported by our work. I like it. Let's pick another color, and I promise not to get too distracted. I am getting distracted. Ooh, let's do dark green. Alrighty, our next step is to multiply. We know that we must multiply the, I hope you're thinking of it in your head. It is the divisor and the quotient. We want to do the quotient and the divisor. I always like to put the one with the greater number of digits on top. So 8.5 multiplied by 8. 8 times 5, we know that is 40. We need to carry the 4. 8 times 8 is 64. We just did that one too. Plus 4 is going to be 68. Alrighty, I'm looking at that. Is that correct? Did we do it? 8.5 times 8 is 680? No. I know you guys are like yelling at me like, no, why is she doing this to us? We know that our initial product here, 8.5, has a decimal in it, so our initial factor has a decimal in it, so our product is also going to have a decimal in it. We have one factor of 10 here, one factor of 10 here. We've got to have the same place value behind the decimal in our product as we do in all of our factors. Now, this is very exciting because 68 equals 68. Congratulations, guys. You did it. This is just one more way to check our work, even when we have a non-whole number quotient. A quotient or answer with decimals. Lovely job, team. I super appreciate you guys. I miss you guys like crazy, and I hope you're having fun. I hope you're laughing at me a lot. Because I'm making a lot of mistakes. Okay, moving on. Man, again, I wish I had a video editing program I could edit off these awkward endings. I just gotta stop.